Yo, what's up, everybody? Triangle. Special guest here today with us. TJ is at a funeral for his cousin. Hope you're doing okay, TJ. We love you, brother.
Yeah, man.
His cousin.
My condolences go
got
out
in a car accident last weekend. So
yeah, my
his
condolences
cousin passed away.
So,
my wishes for you with TJ. So I hope you're doing all right. We got Hulu.
Yeah,
Wulu
Deah.
Wulu Deah, NIU graduate. Been living in Chicago. I love
He's an alum.
Yeah, he's like another alum. We got Israel Rivera, another alum.
Another alum. I'm a regular.
Yeah, he's there every week.
Yeah. Except for last week.
Yeah, so
I love the Huskies. Go Huskies, always, forever.
Yeah. Man, our basketball team.
Well, we've been
way better from
last year, but we've been imploding.
The first time we've had 20 wins, I think, in 20 years.
We don't have 20 wins.
18 wins. 18 wins in 20 years.
Yeah, but the thing is with them is like they started out so hot, and now they're just like, they're not.
We only got like 6 losses. Like I know we lost.
No, they got 8 losses.
I thought it was less than that.
18-8. They just lost. They just lost to Ball State
last night. Yeah.
So both of them, Ball State and them, are tied. In the division.
I mean,
they got to pick it up, man. I think.
When you get to the MAC conference, you never, anything can happen once you get into the tournament.
They beat Akron. They beat the
Zips.
Yeah, they beat Toledo. They beat Akron. I mean, some of the top teams in the MAC. Let's see what they do against Kent State.
And the Ball State game was really close, so we lost by 3 points.
And
Ball
State, that's good competition.
Usually, the teams that really beat them have been like super hot from the 3-pointer.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're beating NIU this year, you're like shooting a ridiculous percentage from 3-point range. If you're not, you're losing. That's basically the game.
So get out there, Huskies, and support the basketball team.
Go
we'll be balling.
Yeah, we're balling.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna switch over to the NBA, which is most people's Christmas, is the trade deadline. But this was the most uneventful trade deadline I can ever remember in my entire life.
Yes.
I cannot remember a single trade deadline where not a single big name got moved. Nobody.
Well, there were mentions about Kevin Love going to
Dwight Howard.
Apparently, they wanted a king's ransom for him.
Yeah, Dwight Howard. I mean, there were some mid-major big names that got moved. Markieff Morris going to Washington. You had.
Tobias Harris
going to the Pistons.
I think
you also had
the Cavs getting Shannon Fry.
You also had Jeff Green going to the Clippers.
That's a really good move.
That was a really good move.
That was
Jeff
probably
Green going to the
best.
Clippers. Lance Stevenson going to Memphis.
I like that move.
I think you make that move because look, you have Matt Barnes and you have Courtney Lee, and you really need.
No, Courtney Lee's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, you got traded. So you got Matt Barnes right at the 3. You really need a 2 that could create. You still got Tony Allen, he's a defender, but he's not offensive. So they need a guy that could create. And I think Lance Stevenson works out.
And plus, he's gonna be happy because he can get more minutes.
Yeah, he's gonna get a lot more minutes.
I think the impact of what's gonna happen to the salary next summer had a big impact on this trade deadline. Because nobody wanted to move it because everybody's gonna have
spend
cap
a lot of
room.
money.
They want to keep this cap room because the cap is gonna go up by so much. And everybody wants to make that run at Kevin Durant.
I think.
I don't think Kevin Durant is moving from OKC. I doubt
if he goes anywhere.
I think if Cleveland would have pulled that Kevin Love trade, oh wow, you talk about ruining your season.
Yeah,
that would have ruined your season.
That would have been dumb.
I'm great that Griffin would have lost his job at that one because
what's trade?
The Kevin Love one to
I think that was like rumors. I don't think there was really like a serious talk about Kevin Love moving. I think that was
I think the sports people just wanted to create the Kevin Love thing. Yeah. I don't think Kevin Love was ever going to get traded. Like you give him a lot of money, you're not going to just trade him away.
No, you're overpaying him.
They've been better since Tyronn Lue took over. The offense looks better.
Yeah, I like him
more efficient.
I want him to be more aggressive than what he plays.
I totally agree with you.
In Minnesota, he was a beast. He did what he wanted to do on the court, but
But you also have to think about it. In Minnesota, he didn't have anybody else, so it's easy to be the best player on a bad basketball team.
Yeah.
I mean, DeMarcus Cousins has been doing that for five years or whatever, how long he's been in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, you put up big numbers on a bad basketball team. When you get it on a good basketball team, your numbers are going to dip. That's just the way it works.
I thought that rumor about the Bulls trading like Noah and Taj or whatever, or Powell, whatever, to Sacramento for Rudy Gay and Ben McLemore. I think that trade would have been. Who's going to make that trade?
I think the other one was way worse. I think you're talking about trading Pau Gasol and Tony Snell for Kofi's Koufis for 3 years. 3 years of Kofi's Koufis
and a lower projected value first
and Ben McLemore. And you would also get the less projected on that.
On that pick. Yeah, that would have been a terrible pick.
But like, if you're gonna be stuck with Kofus Kufis for 3 seasons, like, what does Kofus Kufis do? What does he do?
He's not gonna make a difference maker. You might as well keep Cristiano Felicio, who played decent last night.
Yeah, he played all right.
Played better than Cam Bairstow, who looks like a doofus out there.
Or look better than Tony Snell.
Or Tony Snell looks like he doesn't know his left from his right.
But last year Tony Snell was good. Last year,
way.
He had some good games.
He had a moment. He had
streaks where he was.
But you want to save Tony Snell, save him. But he has digressed.
He has he had a big opportunity to jump on that starting position with Mike Dunleavy, and he didn't do it.
And he didn't do it. Bobby Portis looks better. Like, he looks like he progressed more in his rookie season than Tony Snell, and it's because I think it's the demeanor. I think Tony Snell isn't aggressive enough. And if you're not aggressive in the NBA, you're not going to be playing in the league that long.
It's not even just that. When you look at the difference in the positions that you play, I think that the competition that you play every night at the small forward position, is incredible compared to what.
And you got to have some creativity. Yeah, and Tony Snell's not a creative type of offensive.
Really,
he's like
he can't be because he's tall. He's tall.
The problem with Tony Snell is he's got to hit his open threes. I mean, Derrick Rose gets him an open shot. Whoever gets him
those threes.
But he needs to make them. He needs to make them.
And he has to know that
it'll open a lot for him.
He can create though. He's like tall enough. He got enough.
His
leverage.
Defense, is pretty decent.
He's all right. He's okay.
He's a little skinny though.
He ain't Tabo.
I mean, in the gym. If you get in the gym and a little bit.
I think if I would have rather got rid of Tony Snell than Kirk Heinrich.
So
no.
So why do you think no big names got moved in this deadline? Like what is the big reason? Like,
one, I think is because of the TV deal, and I think a lot of there's not really a lot of, if you look at this year's teams, like who you gonna move for big pieces that are really gonna be difference makers to your team. I think pretty much all the teams are set.
I think in the West, especially in the West, I think the intimidation of the Golden State Warriors had to do a lot with no one of those teams making any moves. Because they're like, man, Golden State is just so much better than most of the teams in the
team in the league.
I
agree with him.
Man, they got pounded last night. Like, woo.
Golden State.
David Lillard. David Lillard went 51. Man, they lost by 30.
Portland went off.
And Portland not going to the playoffs. So
yeah, they are. They're the 7th seed right now. Or 6th seed.
Yeah.
David Lillard is taking that team on his back, and he's like, we're going to the playoffs.
Brandon Roying them. He's Brandon Roying them right now.
I was surprised when what you call him went to San Antonio. What's the big man for?
LaMarcus Aldridge?
I was surprised when he moved.
I wasn't surprised. I kind of saw the writing on the wall.
He was pretty much done in Portland. He was tired of taking them to the playoffs and getting the second round exit.
He wasn't doing it by himself. Damian Leonard was.
I know, but he was tired of them.
Important player.
Yeah, he was their most important player, and when they lost, it was like, oh, LA he's not clutch, or he's not shining in big games.
He had 50 points in one, 50 and 40 points in back-to-back games. Like, the only people to do that is since.
Oh yeah, man, he was a monster.
So but they gave him a lot of flack that second round. He really didn't show up.
He didn't. Yeah, I was surprised that they got swept by the Spurs.
The second round he didn't show up.
I was so surprised, bro. No, against the Spurs.
Because remember 2 years ago they beat the Rockets.
No.
I'm talking about last year. After
they beat the Rockets.
They beat me. I remember Damian Lillard hit the 3 to beat the Rockets.
That's 2 years ago.
No, that was 2 years ago. Yeah. But last year they were in the playoffs, though, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were.
Yeah, but I can't remember who they played.
I forgot who they played. He didn't show up, though. I just know that.
No, was it Dallas that he was going?
I can't remember.
I know one year they got swept by the Spurs, and I was so surprised.
That was 3 years ago.
No, that was 2 years ago. That was the year that was the year Damian Lillard hit the 3-pointer.
Yeah,
the Rockets.
And
that's 2 years ago. Yeah, last year I don't remember who they played in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Portland. Yeah, I mean.
They're gonna be there, but they don't have enough to be really championship. And all those
I like
teams,
Myers Leonard, man.
Yeah,
if he could shoot that 3.
the guy is, come on. No, but I think that the fact that Golden State is so good, I think a lot of those West teams are like, you know what, we're just gonna punt this year. We're not even gonna try. I think Memphis is really doing that. I think they know Marcus Gasol is not gonna play again this year. They're like, oh, we're gonna get Lance Stevenson in here. We're just gonna. I think the writing's on the wall. I think it's pretty obvious that he's not going to play again this year because they said they don't have a timetable for his return, and he broke something in his foot. It's like that Kevin Durant stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big loss.
Yeah.
So So yeah, I think like a lot of those teams because of what Golden State is, how good they are. I think, and the same thing in the East. Like I think Cleveland Cavaliers are so much better than every other team in the East. I think
way better.
I think all of those teams are like, you know what, we're not going to sacrifice our future. We're not going to sacrifice our future to try to make a run at it this year because
the writings on the wall is going to be Warriors and
I would have loved to see the Bulls like the trading of Kirk Hinrich just like let's talk about the Bulls real quick. So like the trading away Kirk Hinrich feels like one of those moves that you make like when you're kind of trying to tank, but you don't really wanna. So you're gonna just trade Kirk Hinrich away for basically nothing, and then you're like you still have the same players, the same roster. Like yeah, you're gonna make a playoff team, but you're not really gonna compete for anything. They might as well just blown it up and like restarted. I'm telling you. Jerry Reinsdorf is sitting there, and he's like, yo, I want this team to be competitive, but I'm not going to spend a ton of money on them. So you keep them in the playoffs every year, Gar Forman. That's why they don't get, like, Gar Forman and John Paxson, like, they don't get any flack at all, because Jerry Reinsdorf has them such on a restriction how much money they can spend and how much what they can do with the team.
Totally agree.
I think
and the Bulls have to have the highest home attendance in the league for the last 3 seasons, because they're making a lot of money. So
they have the third highest revenue in the NBA last season.
Exactly. And Jerry Reinsdorf, the best home record, the best home attendance in the league.
He refuses to spend any money on the actual roster. He wants to, and Bull fans are like I was seeing people making statuses about like, oh, I just want to see the Bulls make a trade, and they're like, oh, totally cool with that Gasol trade for Kofi Scoop. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Yeah. Like we live in Chicago, and the best trade we can get is Kofi Scoop and Bama.
Yeah, come on. I mean, you might as well have just been like, look, we're gonna trade. Powell's not, maybe not. Probably won't sign with us next year.
He's not the future.
He's not the future. So let's go trade him straight up. Trade him straight up along with one of our rookies, our first round pick, to the Sacramento Kings and go get Wulu Deah because he fits a lot better in that offense.
Not to mention, if we get a Wulu Deah,
that would have been better. That would have been a lot. You would have been like, as Chicago fans, you'd be like, okay, because Pau Gasol, one, in the playoffs, has looked very soft. He hasn't been able to, perform, especially against Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah. I mean, against Timothy Mozgov, even against Cleveland the other day. I mean, you're making Timothy Mozgov and Tristan Thompson look like these guys are just superstars. Like, they're getting rebounds over you. They're boxing you out. You're not moving over on the D. I mean, Wulu Deah would have been.
He's not aggressive. Like, in the regular season, he's good. But in the playoffs,
he's not aggressive.
He's exactly like Boozer.
Yeah, he's just like Boozer, except he's taller.
A little bit better.
And a little bit better. Yeah, a little bit better defensively.
I just think that Jerry Reinsdorf put such a restriction on what the Bulls are actually able to do. I think because he's so cheap with all his money.
But I think getting the Fred Hoiberg thing is.
I don't think.
I don't even know who he was.
I think first of all, look. I mean, we got to look at this, man. I mean, these guys had problems with Vinny Del Negro before. They've had problems with Scott Skiles. Before they've had problems, with Tom Thibodeau. It's going to be a matter of a moment in time before they're going to have problems with Fred Hoiberg. But I mean, he's the total yes man.
I think Fred Hoiberg is there to be the puppet,
he's the puppet.
They picked him because they knew they could control him. They could have him like restricted.
What do you think about John?
They're going to be like, hey, we're going to do
the
this.
GM, like, it's just. Because he been with the Bulls for a minute in his time.
I think John Paxson is the president of basketball operations.
Yeah, he's the president of basketball operations.
I'm all right. I'm telling you, I'm absolutely. I feel like this is 100% true. I think Jerry Reinsdorf restricts a lot of the stuff that those because that's why you hear rumors about you hear about rumors about the Bulls doing these things all the time. Those aren't coming out of nowhere.
But to be honest,
I think Jerry Reinsdorf is like, yo, you can't. I don't want to be the luxury tax. I don't want to spend all this money. Like, I just want a team to be competitive every year, where people will show up to games because we're going to be in the playoffs.
Everybody knows in Chicago. Everybody knows in Chicago that Jerry Reinsdorf loves the White Sox more than the Bulls. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Sell the Bulls, please, to somebody that loves them. Because you love the White Sox more than the Bulls.
He knows that people will show up. The Bulls have the best home attendance for the last 3 seasons. So the money's going to be there, regardless if it's competitive or not.
Like the Bulls were sneaking it up after, he's still riding those coattails of Jordan. He's still that
history is
what they accomplished in the 90s. He's still like, we can still ride that. I can still get away with not spending a dime on the roster.
Exactly.
People will continue to show up because I won a lot of titles.
Well, he also thinks he's still living back in the 90s where the salary was not even that high, and you weren't spending that much for Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman.
Not to mention,
nothing, dude.
You have a lot of owners. You see a lot. Where is you see Jerry Reinsdorf at games? Do you ever see him?
Because he's usually at a White Sox game. He loves the White Sox more than the Bulls. Sell the Bulls.
I never seen him at the Bulls game.
He's invisible.
He's invisible. He's
invisible.
He's a businessman. I don't think he really cares too much. It's all about building his empire. I think that's
he's the Darth Vader.
Jerry Reinsdorf is the reason that the Bulls haven't been legitimately competitive because he just doesn't want to spend like
the Bulls have been.
He lucked up when he got Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Listen. We are a top 3 market in the United States.
Yes,
and yet we can't get a free agent to save our life. We end up with Carlos Boozer and lesser guys. Like we can't get anyone.
Pau Gasol. We couldn't get LeBron twice. We couldn't get Melo twice. We couldn't get D Wade twice.
I don't think we wanted Melo.
Like listen, like we're like in a top 3 market. You should have a top flight roster. We should be able to like lure free agents to come and play in the.
Not
Chicago,
to mention, nobody wants to come to Chicago because they don't want to play in the shadows of Michael Jordan. That's a hard thing to chew, man.
No, you missed out on
T-Mac,
like all of these things.
With a healthy D Rose,
no
man, there's no telling that
we
thing.
won 60 games, man. If D Rose would have stayed healthy, man, there was no.
With a healthy D Rose and Jimmy coming back, they'll compete. But they need their third person away.
Roster, there was no telling
they need a young like 3. I mean, like let's say like maybe a Chris Dunn falls to them in the draft or something happens. They need a type of guy like that on the wing.
Yeah,
somebody 6'6" who can create and play defense.
How long is Butler out?
Butler's gonna be out for another couple more weeks. Yeah. Nico's gonna be out for who knows.
I think his season might be over.
Yeah, his season might be over. Yeah, he lost about 15 pounds.
I
think they should have traded him.
He had appendicitis.
No, I like him. He's aggressive.
He had appendicitis and then he had like some complication from the appendicitis.
And then so he's really sick now. Yeah. So I saw him on the sideline though last night. But I mean, they should have traded. If there was a person to trade him, Snell,
why trade
Taj.
Man, I love Nico.
He's good, bro. He's confident.
If I'm gonna trade anybody, I'm trading Tony Snell. I want to get rid of McDermott. I know he played good last night, but
McDermott is all offense.
He's been incredibly inconsistent.
He's super inconsistent. I mean,
he's not
last night he made this play defensively where he could have just took a charge, but he just wrapped the guy up. I think it was Kyle Lowry. I think it was DeMar DeRozan. I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" And Mike Dunleavy looks at him like, "What is wrong with this dude?" Like
he was in position to take the
charge.
He was in perfect position.
But yet he just grabbed him.
That's why he never played when Tom was the coach because he's all offense. Defensively, he's not there.
Tom Thibodeau.
Hoiberg is just I don't know.
Thibodeau didn't play him at all.
He doesn't seem like he has. He doesn't like. I don't know what his system, quote unquote, is, but it doesn't seem it. It's offense sometimes. Like when I watch the Bulls when Pau Gasol and Derrick Rose aren't in the game, their offense is
terrible,
really bad.
Yeah, D Rose and Pau Gasol are their only offense.
It took a back.
He took a step back.
Last season he was good, but this year
Aaron Brooks is not like
he's
not a spring chicken anymore. Like he's getting up there in age. Like he's not a young guy anymore.
But last year he was good though. Last year
he's not the player that averaged 20 with the Rockets.
But he's also
last year he was good for us.
He's also a defensive liability a little bit. Like he doesn't really.
Yeah, the bigger guards get into him. So
like I don't think he's somebody you can rely on for all the time. Like he hits point, he makes shots like every once in a while. But sometimes, man, I watch like some of the shots he takes. It's just like, what are you thinking? Like, why are you shooting it from way out there?
But sometimes he makes those.
Yeah, sometimes it's not a high percentage shot. Like that's not a high percentage offense.
This season has already been determined. Is like what round are we gonna be knocked out the playoffs? Is it first? It's already predetermined.
You know what? I think the Bulls. I think they prove. I mean, Toronto is obviously the Bulls scare them.
Yeah.
The Bulls scare them.
They can't beat us.
They can't beat us. They can't beat us. The Bulls aren't scared of Washington. They ain't scared of Miami. They ain't scared. The only team that could, I think, if once healthy, when the Bulls are in the playoffs, is Cleveland. That's the only team that could beat them. LeBron James. It's like Michael Jordan stops Patrick Ewing and all those other guys from getting rings. LeBron is stopping Derrick Rose and a lot of other people from gonna get rings.
Whoever's in the East is gonna stop
I don't know. Least get to the ship because I think Golden State's gonna win it again.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I think Golden State's gonna run. I think that's San Antonio's too old. They're too slow. They can't run up and down with those guys.
Smart.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how frustrated are you with the Bulls right now?
Oh, I'm a 10. I'm a 10, man.
I'm a 10 too.
I'm a 10, man. Because you know what? It's just like this, man. It's like even like the last few draft picks that you've gotten: Tony Snell, Doug McDermott, James Johnson. Teague.
James Johnson, that was like a while ago. It's the same draft with Taj Gibson.
I know, but still, I mean, those guys were supposed to pan out. He got picked before Taj Gibson.
Yeah, James Johnson, they traded him away before they even see if he had any talent.
I mean,
you can see the guy.
But I'm saying, like, their draft picks have been suspect at the most. They passed up on some really good guys. I mean, I remember where we were like, hey, we should go get Will Barton in the second round. Somebody snatched him out. Now look at Will Barton. He's killing right now for Denver.
I don't think
we could have developed Will Barton into a really good wing.
I don't think he would have developed a player.
I don't know about that.
I think he's just like
Draymond Green.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He would never have played.
What I was trying to get with Fred Hoiberg is like he's a yes man. So I mean, it's like when you go into when they're in the green room and like Garpax is like, oh yeah, we want to get this guy. Oh great, Fred Hoiberg. Like, yeah, that's a good idea. But Tom Thibodeau was like, oh hell. I don't know about this guy. This guy is terrible. No, we're not going with this guy. He was the defiant coach.
He had a strong personality.
Strong personality. And they can't deal with Vinny Del Negro was the same way. You know what I mean? They can't deal with that. They don't like coaches like that.
I think Tom Thibodeau.
No, I think Tom Thibodeau is the only coach.
I
think Tom Thibodeau is the only coach with this squad right now that can win games.
Regardless of
whoever's out there.
I think his offensive systems got incredibly predictable.
Offense was what?
How about this offense though?
But the defense was incredible. The defense was awesome. The defense, but the offense was just at times. Listen, against Cleveland, it was overconfident. Against Cleveland,
no.
For like 2-3 minutes.
The thing about Tom Thibodeau-led Bulls teams is that they always had really good regular seasons because they play harder than everybody else every night. But when you play a team in a 7-game series, like you actually have to have some kind of offense that is like
you got to mix it up.
It's not disgustingly predictable. Like every time you had it out of bounds play, like you knew what they were going to do.
But not to mention he didn't have D Rose.
He doesn't play the bench at all.
Tom Thibodeau in his 4 or 5 years,
he career-ended to a bunch of people. Like he basically ran people to the ground.
Tom Thibodeau in his 4 years with the Bulls
had D Rose like 2.
He only had D Rose for 2 of those playoffs. Yeah. 3 really. No. 3 because remember he had the one game where he injured himself. The first game where he blew his stuff out.
The first time D Rose got injured, people was blaming him because the Bulls was up like 14 points.
No business being
5 seasons. He was there 5 years.
The first time D Rose got injured,
2 years.
It was his fault.
The first time,
his last season and his first season.
The first season the first time D Rose got injured against the Sixers, the Bulls was up like.
They were up by like 10.
It was like a middle of the game.
Why wasn't D Rose on the bench? Why was he on the bench? The game was
you should have coasted with C.J. Watson.
And I had a couple other things with Tom Thibodeau. Like we had chances to like win games against Cleveland, and he didn't call timeouts that could have. He didn't use his timeouts that we could have like that one where we had like. You had like what's his name?
Even last year,
he had Amar Ashik.
We had a good team.
We had a lead against Philly in one of those games, and like Amar Ashik ended up with the ball. Why is he had a timeout? Why is Amar Ashik in the game?
That was game 6. That's when they got eliminated.
That was the first time they were injured.
That was the first series.
Iguodala came down, hit the 3 at the buzzer to beat us. Yeah, to eliminate us. Yeah. Why is Amar Ashik? You have a timeout. Get Amar Ashik out of the game.
Even last year when LeBron hit that shot against the Bulls, I felt like he should have had Ty Gibson on LeBron. Because LeBron cannot shoot. LeBron is a power player.
You can't do nothing about that shot.
No.
You can't do it. LeBron was gonna make that shot.
Wasn't.
I knew he was gonna make that shot.
Jimmy Butler was too small. Jimmy Butler was too small to guard LeBron.
He's their best defender.
No,
he's
but he's too small. You have to have somebody tall on him.
Yeah, but
no.
Taj is gonna step back on Taj and hit that over him because he's too fast for Taj.
It was like what 4 seconds left. LeBron has the most game-winning layups in the history of the NBA. You know why? Because he cannot shoot.
Really?
It's all layups.
Wait, is that a legit stat?
That's a legit. Look up against the Pistons. It was a layup.
He has the most game-winning layups
against the Washington Wizards when he was in the Cleveland. It was a layup.
We gotta check this
out. He has the most game-winning layups in the history of the NBA. I promise you. He cannot shoot. So.
I don't know about that.
What the coach was supposed to do was have Gibson, a taller player, on him because he wasn't going. He had no time to go to the hole to make a shot.
I say this is what they should have did. They on that play, you gotta let Jimmy. But you gotta put some type of. The problem is in that play is that once LeBron got the ball in the corner, you gotta get somebody to trap him. Well, they should have trapped him really hard. No, but they should have trapped him. I'm talking about with another person. Like D Rose should have came up and trapped him. So then he would have had a tougher shot to get over on Jimmy.
I still think he would have made it either way.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think you needed a taller.
I think they needed to trap him in the corner. I think Tom Thibodeau was looking for a trap, but they didn't get the trap. And I think he actually mentioned that he wanted them to trap him in the corner. That's what the whole defense was shifted for. For LeBron to get it in the corner.
Back to the trade deadline. Yeah. What do you guys think was the best move of the day?
The best move of the day, I think, for the trade deadline is Tobias Harris going to
Jeff Green to the Clippers.
I think Tobias Harris going to the Pistons. I think that move is going to get them finally into the playoffs.
I think Jeff Green to the Clippers.
I think Shannon Fry to the Cleveland because Shannon Fry is
Jeff Green to the Clippers.
Shannon Fry is a good player. He's a good player off the field. He's tall.
I think Oklahoma City's still better. And they got Randy Foye. Randy Foye is a really nice player.
They might. They're
not going to use him though.
If they play, it depends on the second half of the year. I mean, Oklahoma City just lost to Indiana.
Yeah,
Clippers just
but that was a really good game.
That was a really good game. Monta
Ellis,
Monta's showing up these days.
Yeah,
but sending Fries to the Cleveland Cavaliers is a good move.
I think it's a basketball move. It's a really nice move.
It's a nice move.
But he's not going to play a whole lot. I think he'll play like 10, 15 minutes a game. I'm talking about
like if you want to playoffs, he might get more minutes.
I don't think so.
I
mean, they made that move to counter anything Golden State would bring.
Exactly.
Like they would be able to now they'd be able to put him at the 4 or like at the 5.
That's a good thing.
I think the Clippers made a really good move because once Blake comes back,
they're
going to be pretty good.
The Clippers had a hole at the 3. They didn't have anybody who could play there, and then you pick up Jeff Green for some guy you were not in your rotation anyways, and Jeff Green could start for you every night. And Jeff Green's a good player. He's humble. He can hit the threes. He can take you off the dribble.
And I think they're glad.
Yeah,
they're glad of getting those 2 black holes off their team.
The knuckleheads.
Yeah, the 2 knuckleheads and Lance Stevenson and Josh Smith. I think they're glad to give them back to teams that wanted them.
I don't know why Josh Smith went over there in the first place. He was supposed to stay with.
Yeah, he should have stayed with Houston in the first place.
Well, he wanted a lot of money to play for the Rockets, and they were
what
like,
about Dwight Howard's soft ass?
Oh, Dwight Howard is not soft, dude. Dwight Howard is
sucks.
They don't give him the ball enough.
Dwight Howard is.
I think so too, though.
Dwight Howard is one of only 2 guys averaging 14 and 14 this season. 2.
What does that mean?
14 points and 14 rebounds.
What is 14 points? You're like 7 feet. You're like this fucking Aeropostale-looking motherfucker.
Watch the language. But listen, when you're playing with James Harden, though, you don't have that many opportunities to get the basketball.
I believe that.
Putting up 14 points with James Harden is an accountment.
James Harden is going to break up that team with his style of play.
There's a stat. Okay, there's a stat. Okay, the amount of ISO plays for an individual. Carmelo Anthony is in second for the second most amount of ISO plays. The Golden State Warriors as a team have 313 ISO plays, something around there, 300 something. James Harden by himself, how many ISO plays do you think James Harden has by himself?
I don't know.
Over 400. He has more isolation plays run for himself than the entire Golden State roster. The entire roster.
Yeah, he's a total ISO player.
The secret of that team is get a ball to Ty Lawson. Ty Lawson is going to make everybody better.
No, Ty Lawson is the...
You crazy?
He's the team destroyer.
Do you remember George Karl last season in Denver?
See, Ty Lawson isn't that guy anymore. He's not like that fast. Like he seems like he's lost a lot.
No injuries, no nothing.
You watch Ty Lawson. He doesn't have it anymore.
They're totally lost.
He's barely getting the ball.
That's a
wrong place for him.
That Denver team.
James Harden.
Look, that Denver team. They are so bogus.
No.
What they did to George Karl. They got rid of the guy. They got rid of the guy after he just won Coach of the Year.
That happened before. That happened to Lionel
And that was the best team in the league.
They got rid of the guy after he won Coach of the Year.
That was so crazy.
I could not believe. I've never heard. That's just like how they with the Kevin McHale thing. Oh, they started off. They stumbled out in the gates. Let's fire him 16 games into the year.
Or how about Lionel Hollins when he was with the Grizzlies?
Won Coach of the Year.
He was coaching in the Western Conference Finals and he got fired.
It's like, what do you expect from Memphis? What do you expect from Memphis? You got a guy that can't even shoot a 3-pointer at the 2.
They got fired. The black coach, the coach of the Lakers for like 5 games, they got fired. He was the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, Mike Brown.
Mike Brown just fired him after like 6 games. When the Dwight Howard got there, that was stupid as fuck. You bring in D'Antoni, no defense, Tony. Like, what are you gonna do with that?
What about the worst move? Do you guys really think there was a worst move?
There wasn't no worst move.
That was made.
Like, there wasn't no move that could be a worst move.
I don't love Lance Stevenson in Memphis, but I do think I think it's nice that they got a first round pick.
I think Lance Stevenson in Memphis is a good pick.
I think it is for them because they have they have a all black type of team. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the starters. And
we're forgetting Channing Frye going to Cleveland. That was pretty good. You said that? Okay, Channing Frye going to Cleveland was a good. That was a good move.
Great move.
Anderson Varejao getting traded.
Oh, he got traded?
Yeah.
He was on Portland and got waived. I think he's gonna end up on the Warriors.
Oh, I feel bad for him because I actually like him.
Yeah, he's gonna end up.
Well, I mean, he tore his Achilles. He wasn't really in their rotation.
What's the other guy? Timothy. He's not like he's
Timothy Mozgov.
He's
good Mozgov.
He's dunking shit.
Yeah, there's no worse move I think in the trade deadline.
I don't think there was because like there's no you don't look at any move and it's like I don't really get that. It's like every move was like I guess.
Yeah, it was like every move was kind of mid-major or like low major.
The Bulls are skilled to make moves.
I feel like the worst move was the Bulls doing nothing.
The Bulls doing nothing.
There was like a worst move. Like it was the Bulls doing.
Like the Bulls did nothing for another year.
Exactly. That just say you waiting for next year. Because if you don't do nothing, you know you're not gonna make it to the finals.
I think Chicago fans are waiting till baseball season.
Exactly. The Cubs.
For a team, or they're waiting until hockey to playoffs because nobody really watches hockey in the regular season.
All right, so let's flip over. Let's flip over to the NFL draft. The NFL draft is coming up, I think, in April or something.
Yeah, April.
Is it
April
in Chicago this year again?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
So we're first going to talk about the Titans. Do you think they will trade down, or will they end up eventually using that pick?
Most draft experts are saying that they are going to draft a tackle, and Laramie Tunsil from Ole Miss is the guy. I think Tennessee should trade down and try and get a team with a couple picks.
This is the thing about trading down. Who is going to trade up? Because people trade up to get quarterbacks.
Yeah. Right.
And who is the quarterback that is worth trading up for? I mean, the guy from North Dakota State.
North Dakota State, you don't really know. He's like a Joe Flacco type of thing. Like he played Division I, Double A.
What's the quarterback from Michigan?
From Michigan?
No. He's not going to be a first-round pick.
Michigan State? You mean Connor Cook? No, he's going to be a high, mid, second round type of pick.
No, trust me. He's going to be like a Tom Brady if you fuck around. And
look, I'm going to go through this mock draft that they got on Walter Football.
So, hold on. So, the Titans are, just think of who might trade up. Who do you think is going to trade up? Who would trade up to get a quarterback?
To get a quarterback?
I can't think of anyone.
Nobody, man. Nobody, because there's not that big. There's no quarterback that wows you in this draft.
Or you trying to trade up to get Joey Bosa?
Why? Because Joey Bosa kind of has slipped a little bit.
A little bit, but
he slipped to number 5 in most mock drafts and sometimes 7.
Yeah, but I think if you're so you think you could trade somewhere else and get him if you wanted to trade up?
I think Joey Bosa is not the guy. I think the best defender. I think the best defender I'm gonna have to go with is that dude from Florida State. That dude. I forget. Yeah, the corner. Yeah. Jalen Ramsey. Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna be the best defensive player He's gonna go to multiple Pro Bowls.
Who has the number 1 pick this year?
Titans.
The Titans. Yeah, they got
a quarterback, and they got a quarterback. They don't really have a receiver. They can really.
They have a tight end.
I think, and the thing is, I think you do trade down. Yeah. I think you do trade down, and you try to get a high second round pick. I think maybe. I mean, who?
The Giants?
Nah, not the Giants. I would say let's say they maybe trade down for the Rams. Maybe that 15th pick, maybe go grab a Laquan Treadwell because I don't think you take Laquan Treadwell number 1 overall.
Oh no way!
You don't take Laquan Treadwell. He's one of the best wide receivers in the nation, but you don't take him number 1 overall. If they're stuck with
that first over pick, they gotta get the tackle. They gotta get somebody to defend. The guard Marcus Mariota. That'll give them 2 decent tackles. Like the last 2 drafts, they have the 2 guys.
I think if they go get Laramie Tunsil and he does pan out, that would be a great decision that they made. Going to get a all-pro, offensive tackle like they say this guy is going to be. He's his stats and measurables are off the charts. They say for a tackle, he's big. We haven't had
the combine yet, so we'll see what happens after the combine.
And the combine, you can't have any domestics or anything.
Yeah, how many quarterbacks do you think go in the first round?
Well, a lot of people like that kid from North Dakota State.
And Jared Goff,
Carson Wentz, Jared Goff.
I think.
Paxton Lynch
from
Memphis.
Paxton Lynch is gonna fall in the second round.
You think he's gonna fall in the second round?
Yeah.
I think
the Browns might drive a quarterback.
I agree. Probably.
The Browns, the Browns are definitely. They got the number 2 pick, and they're probably most likely. A lot of people are saying Carson Wentz is the guy. That's number 1, their number 1 on draft boards.
Connor, bro. I'm looking at his
Connor
eyes.
Cook?
No way.
Nah, man. Connor Cook.
He's fucking tall. He has an arm. He's tall. He's tall. He has an arm.
Watch your language, Wulu.
Connor Cook he's my guy.
Dropping F-bombs on a Saturday.
It's a weekend.
Forgetting that it's just, we got little viewers on this show. Sorry for that. But anyways, Carson Wentz. I think it should be the number 1 quarterback taken. But I do like Jared Goff. Jared Goff, his arm. How about this? How about Stanford quarterback, man?
No.
How about Hogan?
Man.
Hogan played good this year.
I'm a big Hogan
guy. He
had
had 1 bad game, and he played good the rest of the year.
I just think
he played good.
I don't think he's gonna be a top. I don't think he's a first overall.
I think if he's a 4th, I think if there's a 4th person or if there's a 3rd and a 4th picked in the first round, I think he and Paxton Lynch will be in there.
I think Christian Hackenberg goes before.
Man, I don't like Christian Hackenberg. I think he's got accuracy problems.
Christian Hackenberg.
I think he's got a cannon for an arm, but I think he has accuracy problems.
He when you do the eye test and you look at Christian Hackenberg, he looks like an NFL quarterback. Like he's got the missile arm. He's big. He's tall. He's little fast. And like, look what he's throwing to at Penn State. When he had the first season, when he had Allen Robinson and the other guy, like he had put up some pretty decent numbers.
What about the running backs? I mean,
I don't think it's zero.
Like
none.
No running
Alabama,
backs. Nah, they're projecting him to be a second round pick, dude.
Are you kidding me?
The running backs going in the first round. Running backs
zero.
What about Ohio?
Ezekiel Elliott, maybe. The only reason with Derrick Henry, because the problem is that Alabama has such a sick offensive line. Yeah. There's like you can't really gauge on how great their running backs are going to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like Mark Ingram. Look at Mark Ingram, just like basically mediocre. Okay. Trent Richardson. Bust. You know what I mean? Eddie Lacy's on his way. Eddie Lacy's dang near on his way out.
No,
those are your three. Those are your last three studs. Let's see how TJ Yeldon ends up. But I mean,
I think it's gonna be decent.
I think TJ Yeldon's gonna be decent because he's a lean guy.
If he lose weight, he'll be fine.
But yeah, Derrick Henry. I think people are scared to grab a running back in the first round.
I would never do it. Never, ever.
They are getting the ball 250 plus times a game, and that on their knees and body. They're getting hit literally.
What do you feel about the Bears not re-signing Forte?
I
think that is.
I'm cool with it.
That's the best move.
I think that is a good move.
I don't love it. I think because of money. I think they don't have.
I don't think because of money.
But
I think
it is.
Jeremy Langford,
because we have
Jeremy Langford's younger.
We have two guys that are on the roster that can play.
Kadeem Carey is.
Jeremy Langford is all right.
And Kadeem Carey's pretty good. Change of pace.
And you can spend that money elsewhere.
If Forte was worth it, they would have re-signed him. But I just feel like he's not worth it.
He's definitely worth it.
No,
he's an all-purpose back. Matt Forte's going to go somewhere else.
If the Green Bay Packers don't sign Matt Forte, I mean, I would be disappointed.
If he ends up if he goes to the Seattle and goes to the Seahawks, I can see him like
the Patriots. I'm hearing the Patriots.
He's going to want a little bit more money than what the Patriots are going to want to offer.
I think if he went to Seattle,
he's not explosive.
Yes, he is, dude.
He's still fast. He's still explosive. He's just injury prone.
He's fast.
But that's because the Bears gave him the ball dang near every place. Said here. They did like Walter Payton.
Matt Forte, I think I'm pretty sure he led all running backs in yards from scrimmage since 2008. Like Matt Forte is big time.
He's big time.
Big time, dude.
I watched every Bears game.
He's big time. He's big time.
Matt Forte has been big time.
He's big time. He's big time, and if the Packers don't get him, I'll be highly upset.
If you watch every Bears game, you know Matt Forte is not big.
I've watched every game.
We watch every Bears game. We watch every Bears game.
Matt Forte is big time.
Jeremy Langford looked really good this year. That's why they said Matt Forte is disposable. Jeremy Langford costs less. We might be able to. So we're saving money. We're gonna probably go get another high price. We're gonna probably go get another high price. Probably maybe a defensive player, maybe a linebacker. Maybe
we're gonna have to flip the franchise tag. And we're gonna flip it. We're gonna have to flip the franchise tag probably on Alshon Jeffrey.
And then forget Kevin White. Kevin White's gonna be back next year.
We're basically gonna get 2 first-round picks this year.
Yeah, basically, because you're getting Kevin White this year.
And they have that linebacker from Notre Dame linked to us.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember his name right now.
What's the other defensive guy that had a good season this season? The guy that do this with the fishing every time.
You talking about Will Young?
He had a good season.
Will Young, and we're gonna lose Martellus Bennett probably.
You talking about Jalen Smith, the linebacker from Notre Dame?
Yeah,
going number. A lot of people have him top 10 pick.
Maybe he's another place for Bennett. Maybe he's trying another place. Because he's not really skilled in running routes.
The Bears need another linebacker, man. They need that. The Bears have always, over the history of time, Bucket, Singletary, Urlacher, Briggs. They need a linebacker like that. They need somebody to roam that second. That's
what the guy from Notre Dame will be.
Yeah,
the perfect fit.
That's what they need. They need somebody like that.
He has a hairline now. He's like the
he looks so much younger now.
He's like a new face on this hairline thing.
So if you're predicting out, do you think the Titans end up with using the first overall pick? Do you think they trade?
I think they trade down.
I think they trade down for one reason, so they could get more second round picks, because in the second round you can still get value guys. Yeah. So I think
they need help everywhere.
Somebody's gonna trade somebody like San Francisco or somebody. Somebody who really likes Carson Wentz is gonna trade up and grab that number 1 pick.
What do you think about the Browns trading up?
They could get Carson Wentz.
I think they might.
They can get Carson Wentz.
That's a good chance.
Like the Browns just want to trade up just so they don't have to worry. Like they'll flip them like a 3rd-round pick. Like, we'll take the number 1 overall. We'll give you that 2nd pick, and we'll give you a 3rd-round pick later. Like, just so we don't have to worry about somebody else trading into that spot and grabbing our quarterback.
This is the problem with the
Cleveland
Browns.
They got to get a guy.
First of all, Cleveland. I think Cleveland. They're at 1 quarterback. they're Josh Gordon away, and they're another wide receiver away probably from doing some good things because they got a good offensive line, they got a good defense.
They got a good defense.
They're pretty good. They protect
Joe
the
Hayden's
quarterback.
been rotten over there.
Yeah. So
Joe Hayden might be he's a top 5 corner.
Again, Gordon, the wide receiver, is he eligible to return to him?
He applied for it, so we.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he could stay away from the.
He hasn't had any trouble since he got suspended.
He's Rashawn Salamin himself right now. He's Rashawn Salamin himself right now, man.
Well, he's not fumbling every time.
He ain't fumbling, but he's smoking his way out the league. Smoking his way out the league, bro. Yeah, I mean, all the talent in the world, and you're just wasting it. You're Ricky Williams in it. Without being a Hall of Famer with stats.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
I think he's a borderline Hall of Famer. I think man, they messed him up in Miami. With Dave Wanstead gave him the ball.
You think Ricky Williams is a Hall of Famer? So you must think Thomas Jones is a real Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think Thomas Jones posted some really good years.
He's got 10,000 yards rushing.
Thomas Jones with KC.
The problem when you look at Hall of Famer though, when you talk about Hall of Famer, you gotta talk about like the mystique of the running back. I mean, if you're gonna talk about Thomas Jones, how about Natrone Means going into the Hall of Fame? Do you know what Natrone Means is? He's got 10,000 yards, and he used to play for the San Diego Chargers before
Latavius Thompson came in. Let lead and run in touchdowns for
Priest Holmes? No, yeah. I don't think so. He's only you look at his stats.
Besides one season, he was a monster.
Besides that one.
Yeah, exactly.
How about Devin Hester? Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Hell yeah.
You think he's first ballot Hall of Famer?
No question.
No doubt.
Best kick returner ever?
No question.
The GOAT at the kick returner position?
I was so mad that they traded him and he broke the record in Atlanta. Like, why would you let him break it? Why would you let him break a record?
That's something the Bears, that's something like Chicago teams like to do.
That's why they fired him.
They like to do things like that.
That's why they fired whatever the OGM was. That was like the dumbest move ever.
And
why would you trade away Devin Hester and your quarterback is Jay Cutler? A quarterback that don't give you anything.
What do you think San Francisco does? They just signed Colin Kaepernick to a whole bunch of money the year before.
I think they're stuck with him.
They're stuck with that guy.
They got Chip Kelly. I think Chip Kelly.
Give him another chance.
I think Chip Kelly needs to work with Colin Kaepernick. I think Chip Kelly.
That's why they brought him in.
I think there's something wrong. I think Chip Kelly. There's something a little bit more about that guy. I mean, I think he's a little. I think he's a little bigot a little bit because he got rid of his 3 main players that were they were black, and I mean Colin Kaepernick's the face of the franchise. He's black, so you think he's gonna give him the actual?
I think it might work. I think they brought him in to work with
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah,
but everybody's talking about they're gonna snatch a quarterback up.
I was watching ESPN First Take and it was saying how Aldon Smith and Colin Kaepernick got into it because of a woman, because Aldon Smith was dating this girl, and Colin Kaepernick is now dating her, and then Aldon Smith was charged with vandalism, and they were saying it was Colin Kaepernick, it was his car.
that would be pretty hilarious. That'd be awesome.
Women have power, man. They
they get Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher. We talked about it last week. Me and TJ with Derek Fisher. Basically, he lost his job because of that incident. That's one of the one of the reasons because they're better. There's no reason Derek Fisher to get fired.
They was getting better this season.
I still think that Derek Fisher, that stuff was looming over him the whole time. Man, we're in the middle of we're in a training camp and you gotta go. You get into it with Matt Barnes.
The power of the.
Yep. The power of that woman. Yes, sir. I think, man. I'm not that excited about this NFL draft. I really don't think there's really that many standout game changer kind of guys. I think if you look at a game changer, Laquan Treadwell,
Joey Bosa,
definitely Joey Bosa, big time.
I like Elliott though. I think he's really good.
I like Ezekiel Elliott too, but I just don't think
Elliott,
if I was a GM, I would never ever take a running back.
A lot of teams got him going to Houston.
I would never ever take a running back in the first round.
Yeah, a lot of teams got a lot of mock drafts. Yeah, oh my gosh, a lot of mock drafts got him going to Houston. But I mean, those are just mock drafts. I mean,
if I would pick
I would never take a running back in the first round.
I said maybe with the Colts.
No, they don't need a running back. They got Frank Gore under contract for one more season.
Yeah, I think Laquan Treadwell, Joey Bosa. Let's see how that Carson Wentz guy. I don't know.
Let's see how he measures out in the combine.
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna. There's not that quarterback guy. That quarterback prospect that gets you going, this year.
I think I'm all about Christian Hackenberg. I think he's going to end up on the Texans with Bill O'Brien. And that's going to be fun.
What's the defensive guy for the Texans that they drafted first round?
Oh, that Blues
what's his name?
Yeah, I think he's been underwhelming as a pro.
This is the second season he just completed?
Yeah, he's been underwhelming. Very underwhelming. If they could go back, they probably would have taken Khalil Mack. Number one overall.
Oh, yeah. Khalil Mack is
Khalil Mack has been.
He is really good. He's like a Von Miller type of player.
I like that quarterback too. He's pretty good.
David Carr, they're going to be.
Oakland's going to be good.
They're going to probably compete for a playoff spot.
I think if Oakland could get Laquan Treadwell,
I like their running back.
They go get Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray.
Yeah, I like Latavius Murray.
If they could get,
the Raiders are going to be back on the up and up. Trust me.
If they could get like a tackle or another game-changing wide receiver,
I wish they could have found a way to keep Justin Tuck from retiring. Keep Justin Tuck around for one more season.
He retired, right?
Yeah, I mean, because he's a good locker room guy. He knows how to be teaches people how to be a pro. Those guys are important to have in your locker room.
He's got 2 rings though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so he shows you how to be a pro.
He's done. He's done with
That's why I think the Bulls should have kept Kirk Heinrich. I mean, the guy plays hard. He doesn't. You never hear nothing from him from the media. You don't hear anything about Kirk Heinrich complaining.
He's not producing. There's nothing on the court that matters. So we gotta get rid of him.
No, dude, I totally disagree. Kirk Heinrich should have been able to stay.
Yeah, I think he should have been able to stay. I mean,
his number's gonna be upstairs.
The thing is, they couldn't trade.
He went back to Atlanta. He was already in Atlanta before.
Look, Wulu, I'm pretty sure they would have traded Aaron Brooks if they could have, but they can't. They can't. He has no trade exception in his contract this year. So they couldn't trade Aaron Brooks. So they're like, well, we got to get one of these point guards to make room for Etuan Moore. So they had to get rid of Kirk Heinrich. They're stuck in a position.
I like Moore.
But if they would have made the choice, if they would have went back and redid Aaron Brooks' contract, they would have been like, well, we no trade. He's got a no trade exception. They could not trade Aaron Brooks. So they had to get rid of Kirk Heinrich to make room for Etuan.
But Kirk Heinrich's gonna be good in Atlanta. He's a good locker room guy. He's a good leader. You never hear any fuss
and you
about him.
You can use him in the 1 or the 2.
And he shows you how to be a pro. He shows you how to be a pro.
He's gonna help Dennis. He's gonna help Dennis Schroeder out a lot.
No, Schroeder's already good by himself.
I know, but he's gonna help him out to be a better pro.
More of a professional player. Like how to be a pro.
Jeff Teague, all of those guys, man. He used to play in Atlanta though.
Kirk Heinrich's a good locker room guy. He's a very good guy to have in your locker room.
I think he does have a home still out there in Atlanta. I think his family lives out there.
I heard his family was close to the Bulls. That's why they didn't trade him.
Who?
I heard his dad have.
He's from Iowa.
His dad have some type of relationship with the Bulls or something. That's why.
Well, I mean, Kirk Heinrich's gonna be when he retires. He's probably gonna be a coach, assistant coach somewhere. He's gonna be doing something. Kirk Heinrich's gonna be. Around he's gonna be they're probably gonna retire his number when he finally does retire.
I told you.
I think so, man.
First of all,
he's top 5. He's in top 5 in a lot of major categories in the Bulls history.
He's the number 1 in 3. He's the number 1 3-point field goals made.
He's second or third in assists. He's in top 5 in points.
Yeah, he's
Kirk Heinrich's got
statistically points in the Bulls.
I'm pretty sure
he's the third best. He's the third best point guard in Bulls history. It goes D Rose, Norm Van Leer, Kirk Heinrich. D Rose, Norm Van Leer, Kirk Heinrich.
The Bulls never really had a historical point guard, and he's not.
Don't you disrespect Ron Harper that way?
He's not.
He's not really. If Ron Harper retires, he's gonna retire either a Clipper or a Cav. That's where he had most of his stats.
He's not going to the Hall of Fame.
I mean, if he goes to the Hall of Fame, he'll never go to the Hall of Fame.
At his stage, D Rose is the best point guard in the history of the Chicago Bulls. At this
D Rose, yes, he is the best point guard. Norm Van Leer is the second, and then it's Kirk Heinrich.
Yeah, but it's Norm Van Leer and Kirk Heinrich is pretty close.
Norm Van Leer and Kirk Heinrich is pretty close. Yes.
Yeah, I think for sure Kirk Heinrich's gonna have his number retired.
Play, or you guys just saying it because of history? What history says?
History says.
Yeah. I think Kirk Heinrich is.
His number's gonna be upstairs. They're gonna retire his number, and
they're gonna retire his number.
We're gonna remember Kirk Heinrich forever.
Yeah, as a Chicago Bull. Yeah, he's not gonna go to Hall of Fame, but at least he'll get his number for
Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
one All-Star game.
He didn't even make it to one. He didn't even make it to one All-Star game. He never even made it to All-Pro. He was never an All-Star. He was never All-Pro.
No, he's not going to Hall of Fame.
Defensively, he was really good. At one point, I remember him being a defensively.
Yeah, he's a very good defensive point guard, and he plays hard. You look for those kind of intangibles.
He's smart defensively.
Big ups, man. Yeah, man.
But
I applaud Kirk on what his career was with the Bulls.
Yeah, thank you, Captain Kirk, for a lot of memories.
Yeah, man.
I hope you assistant coach somewhere sometime.
Hopefully, yeah, with the Bulls, maybe he comes back and is like, hey, Fred, I can fix this.
Nobody can fix nobody can fix anything.
Oh my God, Fred Hoiberg is having a tough time this year.
We'll be back next week with TJ. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out, guys. Have a good night.
Yep.